Hey Bat fans, welcome back to Room 237, and this is part 4 of my How to Start Reading Batman series. So what this is going to be is, it's going to be what brings, what's in between No Man's Land and Grant Morrison. Because if you remember my part 1 video, I mentioned Grant Morrison, and I haven't mentioned any of his books yet. And that's because his run is very lengthy, very intricate, and it deserves its own video. I had already done a Grant Morrison run video, but there were some mistakes, there were some things left out. So I actually deleted that video last night, and I'm going to be redoing it. I'm going to give everything of what's left in post-crisis for that video, but I'm going to tell you what's needed for Grant Morrison's run and, you know, just what the ancillary standalone stuff is. I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. But for part 4, so this is going all the way back to the first book after No Man's Land, part 4. So you're going to want New Gotham, Volume 1, then Officer Down, which is part of this New Gotham series, like the books that look like this. Officer Down is not included, but one's like evolution is included. So New Gotham 1, Officer Down, New Gotham 2, then Gordon of Gotham, Batman by Ed Brubaker, Volume 1. There's a book I do not own called False Faces, but that goes after Volume 1. Volume 2 isn't really needed because it's collected in some of these other books. The only reason you would need Ed Brubaker Volume 2 is if you're an absolute completist. There's one issue that's not collected in any of these other books. So you don't really need it. But after Ed Brubaker Volume 2, there is Bruce Wayne, Murderer. And then Bruce Wayne Fugitive, Volumes 1 through 3. I would recommend getting the new trades where there's more to Murderer and Fugitive is all in one book. I would recommend doing that. It's a lot easier. Blink, which is actually part of the Legends of the Dark Knight series. This is more... I actually haven't read this one yet, so I'm not sure if this is one of those Legends of the Dark Knight like Venom, where there's like a place for it, or if you can read it anywhere. But I've seen Blink be placed here, so Blink. So now I'm going to kind of contradict myself, because then we have Hush, which, yes, I did mention this in part 1, because it is a book that you could pick up and read. Some things you may not get up until this point, like some characters, but this is where Hush would actually go in continuity. And then I said you will want to read Under the Red Hood right after. It does make sense if you want to do it that way, but if you want to go by the actual reading order, Hush, then Brian Azzarello's Broken City, which I just did a review for this, Death and the Maidens. Then you have War Games, Volume 1. I do not own Volume 2, but then there'll be Volume 2, and I believe War Crimes is included in Volume 2. Then if you wanted to read the Superman and Batman series, Volumes 1 through 7, I'm not sure how pivotal they are in continuity, or if it's like it's a standalone series, but they would go here. Then you have Under the Red Hood. So yeah, it's actually this far apart from Hush. But if you're just starting out, I still do believe that you could read these two back to back. Hush, then Red Hood. But if you want to read in the proper order, yeah, they're actually this far apart. So I kind of fucked up in that first video. This does not collect Under the Red Hood Lost Days. And I've had people ask me, shouldn't Lost Days go first since it shows, you know, in between coming back to life and going to Gotham? No. It is it's a prequel. Read this first. Just because it's a no, do not read Lost Days before this. I've had people ask me about that and really not grasp the fact that, well, that came first, so that should go before. No, because there's pivotal story things that happen to the story that you have to know first. So Under the Red Hood, then Lost Days, then you have Identity Crisis, which is more of a murder mystery than it is a crisis, like Infinite Earths or Flashpoint. And yeah, I would get the deluxe edition with that awesome cover where all the costumes are hanging. So Identity Crisis, then you'd have Infinite Crisis, and then Batman Two-Face Face to Face after Infinite Crisis, which I found this deluxe edition for really cheap. So, and from there, that is when Grant Morrison comes in. So this is probably the shortest I'll ever do a how-to video. Another thing to add, since I haven't had these books since I've been doing this, Batman and Robin Eternal. These are part of the DCU, which is the second half of the New 52 after Convergence. They are by Scott Snyder and James Tynion, so they take place between Endgame and Super Heavy. So you have Volume 1, Batman and Robin Eternal, and Volume 2. So, yeah, it's making Scott Snyder's run more than just 1 through 10. Which, from what I've been told, some people are reading 4 and 5 first, since that's the origin. That works as well. You can go 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, Eternal, 1, 2, 3, Arkham Manor, or excuse me, Batman Eternal, 1, 2, Arkham Manor, 3. And then, of course, you have Convergence. And there's other New 52 events like Future's End and Forever Evil, Darkseid War, all the Justice League books. I'm not 100% on where those get placed because I don't have those. I don't have Justice League New 52 books. But as far as Batman goes, but when I do get up to the New 52, I'm going to try to find the best reading order. So I've been trying to tell people, start with Post-Crisis, but people really want to read New 52 for some reason. It's like they really want to read Death in the Family or Court of Owls, but I haven't quite found the best reading order, like, as far as just reading each run by itself, which is what I did. But there is a more complete way to do it where you put the correct, you know, Batman, then Batman and Robin, then Detective Comics, then Batman and Corporate. Like, you mix them all together to complete and make it one big complete story. I've been trying to figure that out. But people really want to start with New 52 for some fucking reason. Just start with Post-Crisis. Go back to my how to start. Start with my Volume 1 video and work up. So yeah, this will probably be the shortest. Part 5, Grant Morrison, is probably going to be the longest. So bear with me on that one. But that is How to Start Reading Part 4. I know it's a lot shorter, less books, but that was between No Man's Land and Grant Morrison. Thank you for watching.